Aha, we live. Yes, indeed. Aha, we live. Yes, indeed. All right, we are back in the building. Peace to you and yours. Peace to all. Welcome back to Tough Talk Tuesday, episode 15. This is your host, Brother Blue Pill. We are soon to be joined by my guest, my co-host, Brother Ken BRISBON. Peace, love, and light. All right, it's been a minute. Welcome back to Tough Talk Tuesday. You know, man, it's been a second. Let me just make sure that I got all of these things situated in the back office. All right. Shout out to the chat. Let y'all get situated. All right, get comfortable. It's definitely going to be one of those memorable shows. All right, so definitely want to get comfortable. You dig? Hope everybody's doing good tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute since we had a chance to chop it up with you, but we back. I don't even want to waste no time. Let me get straight to the, let me open up these airwaves. Bring in my co-host. Handlers. Peace.
Yo, what up, bro?
Man.
Damn, been a minute, huh?
Been a minute, God.
Damn, what's good? Wow.
It's good with the God, man. We back in the building, though. You know
Really? Woof.
Hey.
Woof.
With a
Been a while, man.
Back. You know what I'm saying? What a difference a month take.
Man,
bro.
A lot of shit happened in a month, bro.
A lot of shit happened in a month. You know what I'm saying? You talking about the quickening, talking about packing some shit in.
Lord, wow. Man, you can't leave these people hanging like this, man.
Huh?
Can't leave these people hanging like this. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, how do you ever catch up?
Lord have mercy.
Shout out to the brother Red Pill. He's been doing some amazing programming out here.
Shout out to Red grinding.
Getting that information out, you know.
Uh-huh.
I think they're trying to re-Christian August as the new Black History Month. What you think?
What's that supposed to mean? What does that mean, though?
In the month of February, you know, a lot of Negro-centric stuff is normally lined up to take place during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And they position a lot of things to go down around that particular period. But yeah, man, there's been a string of things that have taken place in this month alone that, you know, that are extremely Negro-centric, you know. And
what is that? What does that even mean?
Centralized.
Okay.
To the Negro experience.
Oh, brother.
You know? Oh, brother. But I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. How you, bro?
I'm good. Hey, now before we even get out bro, I be in my own zone. And I pop my head into the nigga app. Yo, I didn't know that Popeye's chicken sandwiches was cracking like that.
Where you been?
Man. I'm like, this is what it is. I mean, when I say popping, I mean people fighting, advertisements. I'm like, yo, this is a big deal over this chicken sandwich.
Bro, you jumping. We're gonna talk about
Okay, my bad.
the
Shit.
relationship to the black app. You know what I'm saying? Because I should have subtitled this program. You know, you can uninstall the black app, but how do you delete it from the hard drive and from the server? You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
At today, you know,
you
because
asking for a lot.
in the interim of us being away for a minute,
Mm-hmm,
a lot of different interesting conversations have popped off, and they're
mm-hmm,
kind of centered around some of these conversations that we are used to having on this platform,
mm-hmm,
on Tough Talk Tuesday in particular. You know, one of the main being athletes and entertainers as leadership for Black America,
mm-hmm,
self-appointed leadership at that, or leadership that is pretty much um, gauged by the quantification of attention, meaning, nigga, if I'm a trending topic in your psyche, right?
mm-hmm,
Or if you fucked around and went out and bought my records, or if you said that I'm the number one
mm-hmm,
on your list, then that gives me the right to step into your affairs, right? Because nobody else seems to be governing your affairs. So I'm gonna step into your affairs and take control of situations that you have no control over, seemingly because you have given that right up to the people who you mysteriously call leadership.
mm-hmm,
So we see a situation where there's a juxtaposition in the media between perceived leadership. On one hand, you have Jay Z. On the second hand, you have Colin Kaepernick.
mm-hmm,
You understand?
mm-hmm.
And in the middle, you know, you got a lot of other shit going on. Um, all of that adding up to this whole concept of what we've been speaking about in regards to what comprises the Black app, and in particular, Black Twitter's control or influence on positioning trending topics in that Black app. So previously, before, where they say, well, how can we gauge something that is pretty much prevalent with a particular demographic, right? And then the people will say, well, you vote, the majority votes because we live in a democracy, so all rules.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a construct called Black Twitter that is the comprising of that majority, allegedly, and it's like whatever they say goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finished.
What did you ask? What what are you asking me? What are you asking me? I mean, it's a dumpster. It's all of it is a dumpster. It's one big dumpster. So like I can start from any position, but it's a total dumpster. So just so we're clear, so we can kind of bring everybody to speed up what the black app is basically groupthink, and it's a frequency. And when you're tapped into this app, you think, eat, function, fuck, marry, believe, kind of on this one frequency. Everybody does the same thing. Everyone has an agreed um, collective history. A weird collective history. Ambiguous, nameless ancestors. We all have the same ancestry, and we don't know their names, but we're all the same. We all feel the same. We all look at slavery and history the same. It's the black app. And it's real easy to do too when you have like say BET. Um, Why is that significant? Because millions of people watch BET. Millions of Black Americans go to the Black church. Millions of Black people go to the club. So everyone gets the same message. And if you're outside the app, well, you can tell you sound different, you look different, you move different. Um, the, uh, the mere fact that someone like Candace Owens, her message is so, oh my God, tells you that the culture is not that nuanced. You know what I mean? It should be a lot of Candace Owens. You know what I'm saying? Just as many Gucci Manes it should be a lot of Candace Owens. There's no balance. So the mere fact that it's only one of her kind of tells you about the black app. All niggas hate Donald Trump. Where did they get the memo to do that? How did they get on the same page at the same time to dislike one person? That's ill. That's ill. Um, and the black app won't agree that, you know what, we have an economic issue. Everybody's going to be, a little separate in that. You know what? I'm good. I'm content. Boom. Everyone can agree that, you know what? Maybe we should have our own flag. Everyone won't agree, you know what I'm saying? But to agree on one person that we all dislike him, and if you like him, it's a problem. So that's the black app. So the black Twitter is just an extension of the black app. It's a dumpster fire. It's nothing but a dumpster. It is completely trash, and there is no return on investment being in it. Because in 2 months, Black Twitter is going to do their annual, like, this Thanksgiving hashtag. Grandmom cooks at Thanksgiving or some shit, where everyone gives their Thanksgiving memory.
Yeah, black families.
Yeah. Blacks while cooking and no, yeah. It's a dumpster. Um, it's not a luxury brand whatsoever. The best thing you could do is try to figure out how to make some paper off of it. But it's a dumpster fire. So, so their comments on Jay-Z and Colin Kaepernick, it's all part of the same coin. You know what I'm saying? It's a dumpster fire. It has a pain body. It is very, very, very entertaining to me. Um, I don't look at them as my people. This is where I separate myself. I don't look at retardation as my people. If we have nothing in common, I don't say you're my brother, you're my sister. I don't follow my melanin laws are different. My melanin don't work like that. My melanin is it draws distinctions between me and other folks. Um, so yeah, this month has been a fucking exactly what I expected to do. It's niggas gonna nig.
Niggas gonna nig.
That's the default. No matter what. No matter what. It's in it. It's in it.
Amazon is burning.
Amazon, yeah, Amazon is burning.
Volcanoes are erupting. No matter if the earth is quaking, niggas gonna nig.
Facts. That's the default. It does not matter. Some way, somehow, you just stand back and it's gonna come out. It can't help itself. It's like that goo in the movie Venom. That's exactly what a nigga is when niggas go nig. That same thing in Venom, that little slime, that's what nigga is. It's that slime right there that a few hundred years ago jumped on some people. And it's in them now. So they gonna nig no matter what. At dinner, at church, it's gonna come out. You just create the right circumstances and watch them work. Just stand back. It'll be very entertaining.
So you jumped online, you jumped on social media, you
jumped on social. Yep. Yeah.
And you seen the Popeye situation.
I seen the chicken. I seen people fighting. I seen how I just was, I be in my own bubble.
You see the KFC Beyond Chicken yet?
Yeah. yeah, basically the Dr. Savy conversation is out the window. Okay, that shit came and went. You know what I mean? That shit came and went. Every I thought I thought Nip got killed over a documentary. So you know, niggas is going in for a chicken sandwich right now. So that didn't last that long.
Yeah, that ain't last
But to touch on what you said about Jay and Jay Z, and listen, man, if okay, this to tell you what it is. If Charlemagne is allowed to sit in the room with Jay Z and Roger Goodell and all that, that should tell you what this shit is. I don't think Charlemagne could have sat in the room with James Baldwin, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, when they were meeting with real, what I'm saying, politicians and shit like that. I don't think I don't think a radio dude could have sat in the room with them. Not just a radio dude, a dude that is always out of pocket in the shit that he says.
You know what? I was doing the knowledge to the statement that you made in my own head earlier, just going through some things, and I'm like, it was something that I saw, and it was dealing with um iconic modern day black people, and Charlemagne was featured in this thing. You know what I'm saying? So I had to step back and make a mental evaluation. And I'm like, okay, well, we have to kind of like accept the fact um, that at this point in time, uh, Breakfast Club is considered media, and I couldn't really draw in my own mind when melanated people had a voice in media like this that seems to be somewhat, it's a semblance, it seems to be independent. You know what I'm saying? Even though we know better.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm like, they could be talking about niggatry 1 minute, and then the next minute they could be speaking about something that's semi-serious.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't really remember a time like that where a son could be a goofball in the daytime and at nighttime, you know what I'm saying, like be on par with another goofball like a Don Lemon or something like that, who is looked at as someone who deals with serious, right? These people deliver, and newscasters are sorcerers because they can alter your reality just with them reading something with a level of however they convey that message. You know what I'm saying? Punctuation, body language, pausing. You know what I'm saying? Like they can really alter how you perceive something by casting it on you. They're newscasters after all. And I'm like, this person does occupy this space. You feel me? And it was weird as fuck. And I can't recall a time, like you said, when someone, I don't even know, like Bob Law was on radio. That's different. You know what I'm saying? Um, Infidisha James, what's the name? What's the brother's name, man? I forget WLIB, but there were people that had prominent roles, dualistic roles in media, but they weren't like buffoons on the radio. You know what I'm saying? During the daytime and shit like that. They weren't on the fence with so many touch topics. Like you kind of knew where they stood. Black radio, for the most part, their politics lined up with the black church, right? Because those were both the beacons of the venues that a lot of information for Black America got out to. So they
Mm-hmm.
were somewhat on the same page. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I
You know,
mean,
um, so for that, I still think, yeah, in this modern day, the way that information is disseminated and the fact that it coincides so closely with entertainment, Like when I go to my Google, I don't know how other people's Google is set up. But when I go to Google homepage underneath has news items, right, that are recommended and referred to me. All of them shits are from gossip sites.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They're dishing the tea on Google in the news feed. They're not telling me about the trade wars. They're not telling me about what price Bitcoin is at. They're not even telling me about the Amazon. That shit is all tea. I'm like, is that like that's not my search algorithms? Why do you refer? Like, are they doing this to everybody?
Okay, so today, what's the guy that sings "I'm a Classic Man"? What's his name?
Oh, Johanna.
Okay, so I seen him on the Breakfast Club
Yeah.
today, and it was very one-sided, right? And you got to actually see the difference of somebody that being deep thought, someone that tries different ideals, someone that thinks before they talk. It was you, wow. The difference was Muggsy Bogues and Will Chamberlain, right? Um, I thought that was very interesting, the dialogue that they had today. I mean, he talked about everything, but yeah, check that out, and you can see the contrast. But
I did want to see it. I saw an excerpt and it sounded like there was something more there. I was like, I need to check that out.
no, it was there. No, dude, I like bruh. I like him. But what do I expect when Charlemagne has a song called "Black Men Don't Cheat," bro? And this
Is
is
that
the dude that,
Charlamagne song or is that Little Duval song?
I mean, he's on it, and
Oh,
it's a real thing,
okay.
right? And that's what's important to them. You know, making black men look like they don't like other women. And in terms of intellect, dude, like this is what y'all talk about. This is really a big deal. You know what I'm saying? But if he gets to sit down and he gets to ask Jay-Z questions or Robert, that's just telling you this shit is a dumpster. Now, simultaneously, when that happens, Cardi B is sitting with Bernie Sanders. I can't make this shit up.
Oh man.
I can't make this up. And it's okay in a culture like this because it's a celebrity culture. It's a culture that's about, if I like you or not. Do you have the most followers? Are you hot? It's not about who has the best ideals,
Deals, right? Or
right?
ideas, right?
Right? We're making songs. Oh, black men don't cheat. Yo, let me tell you something, dude. The issue between men and women have been going on for millions of years, and it will continue to go on. So to make a record, and that's what you standing on, and this is the biggest and brightest. Like so if an alien species came to the planet right now and was like, yo, send me your biggest, brightest minds, do you know who they would send? Pastors, ministers, and motivational speakers.
Mm.
Not scientists, not generals, not mathematicians, bro, not architects, not biologists, not physicists.
That quantum physicist
None, no. The biggest and brightest you would send are pastors, motivational speakers,
and entertainers.
and entertainers, my nigga. Well, that's all one and the same. They would send Devon Franklin, Megan Good's husband, to talk to advanced rate. So the Asian man would have, you know what I'm saying, a physicist, a scientist. European man would have a mathematician. The Indian dude, the Indians would have some type of tech genius. The South Africans would pick someone like Elon Musk. And the person that would represent Black America is a nigga with a Bible.
Hmm.
Trash. But what do you expect? You know what I'm saying? What it's the nigga app. You know what I'm saying? If you care about your health, you remove yourself from the shit. And the thing about it is, if people continue to chase this black utopian ideal, that's that's flawed right there. So, but to and go back to what you said about leadership again, what group of people needs leaders to lead you where? So when Jay-Z made his move, that's Jay from Marcy. That nigga not my leader. I expect that nigga to put his family in a position before mine. That's just what the fuck it is. Colin Kaepernick, that nigga is worth $20 million. Last I checked, he's good and he's signing non-disclosure agreements. Revolutionary signed non-disclosure agreements now. You know what I'm saying? Revolutionaries don't go to jail now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All that shit is trash. All that shit is a dumpster. The nigga is actually, if he could get in the NFL, he would take the job. You know what I mean? So what does that mean? I mean, that's such a spit in Matulu Shakur's face, Geronimo Pratt, Bunchy Carter. You know what I'm saying? Asada Shakur can't even come back to America. You know? So this is games. This is nothing but theater. You know what I'm saying? But Baba Bobby told us how to look at shit like this, though.
The significance of it is this is called Black August, and Black August is called Black August because it's a celebration of revolutionary melanated people who actually put their lives on the line for quote unquote struggle. So this is a undoing. They're walking all that shit back just in the span of 2 to 3 weeks out of this month, because this what this month is gonna be always remembered for. You know, when motherfucking Popeyes launched his chicken sandwich, they used racial undertones to market and promote to a people who not only embraced it but gave them back $30 million worth of free advertisement for chicken that people are clearly on camera showing you got fucking maggots and worms coming out of this shit and all of that, and they're fighting to get it. And as a result, right, because of knee-jerk reactionism in marketing, I drove past Chick-fil-A tonight on the way in, and that shit had a line out the motherfucking yin yang. So people feel like, look, I'm gonna pledge my allegiance to you. You know what I'm saying? Because brand loyalty says what? Yo, this is my favorite. Like, I still love this shit. Let me go out and buy 3 of these shits. That's how they got niggas right now. And I seen this. This was at 9:30 at night. They had a motherfucking line wrapped around the block for Chick-fil-A.
I can understand that though. Chick-fil-A, that shit got the Krispy Kreme recipe.
I heard about it.
So I get it. You know what I mean? And they got fire ass customer service.
I heard about that too.
So I get it. But yeah, niggas gonna nig. But it's an American thing, dude. Everybody's caught up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's caught up. Crackers caught up too. Mexicans caught up too. Everybody caught up. You know what I mean? It's if you got a TV, you caught up. You listen to media, you caught up. Everybody just caught up on a different channel. It's just it's the same shit though. Trust and believe. When school started, white mamas was breaking their neck trying to get some Skechers too. Trust. It's the same shit. You know what I mean? Everybody gonna participate in Thanksgiving. Labor Day's coming up. It's the same shit. It's an American thing. You know, it's a consumption thing. And it's a mind control thing. You know what I'm saying? So you just and what you have is you just have it's the bottom feeders of the world. Unfortunately, we're connected to the brown ones. But it's the same shit though. It's a one big dumpster. And you know what I'm saying? Unless a solar flare comes, melts this motherfucker, that's just going how it's look. And every week it's gonna be something different. niggas is mad at, crackers is mad at. You know what I mean? Every week. And that's how it go. And then here you have, this community plays this game of crowns and our people, and you know what I'm saying? And it's the Jubilee year. Yo, fam, sorry to say, nothing in nature indicates to me that it's fucking with niggas. And nothing that we talking about. Nothing in nature. No mudslide, no hurricane, no tornado, no earthquake, no rain. Nature's not fucking with niggas. So all that Jubilee year, okay, niggas was slave to some crackers. Now you finna be slave to automation. Ain't shit finna change. It's just gonna look different. Now you finna be slave to AI. But ain't shit finna change. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. So run the score up and get the fuck out of Dodge. You know what I mean? Or figure out how to get involved with the Rock Nation crew. You know what I mean? Choke no joke gonna do a video about you, but other than that, shit.
Oh shit!
It's tough talk, man.
Shout out to Rock Nation, and
It's tough talk. It's been a month. Been a month.
Did you see the Dave Chappelle special?
Oh my God. Genius, yo.
Yeah.
He's a genius.
That's the only words that came out of my mouth.
He's a fucking genius, dude. Genius. For real. His storytelling, you know what I'm saying? The fact is, yeah, he's a genius, dude.
Clear. What is comedy about? Comedy is about storytelling. It's about seeing shit that you see in plain sight that you don't necessarily see for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's rearranging perspectives in real time, and he's bringing his shit full circle in terms of his storytelling abilities. You know what I'm saying? Like even his improv with the phone call in the middle of the. I mean, this was the old Dave Chappelle. You feel me?
Totally. And he has an innocence to him. Like, the way that he tells stories and the way that he could bring it home. But I feel like he sounds like that because he is detached from the culture. So he can talk about it from a certain viewpoint.
Right, an observer's viewpoint.
Yeah, totally.
I just peeked into the Black app, and this shit look crazy. Here's my summation of it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Sizing this shit up for what it is. This shit is fucking crazy. And
you know what I'm saying?
He just brilliantly dissected the fucking psychosis, that this insane asylum that we call home is. And of course, people are going to be in their feelings. Because they have normalized crazy. To a degree where the shit is so normal that you can't speak publicly about it. Right? Or you'll lose privilege to Black Twitter and the Black app and all these other things that, these places where craziness just seems to find a home. Yes, it was a brilliant.
I think dude is great, and I think that's what happens when you are removed from the culture, where you can, the interesting thing about when you're Black, you're allowed to pick everything except yourself. And when you pick yourself, that's what it sounds like, dude. For real. And you're allowed to pick anything but yourself, You can pick Christianity.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
Oh, okay.
You pick yourself.
Bruh, if I tell you I'm a Moor, all right, that's cool. If I tell you I'm a Christian, Yeah. That's cool. You know, if I tell you I'm Muslim, oh yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? If I'm singing rap songs and shit, yeah, it's all good. It's identifiable, right? But if I pick myself and I'm like, you know, I made my decisions may glitch in the matrix. For example, Dave Chappelle's married to Asian broad,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Technically, a black man not allowed to do that.
Technically, right.
Technically, he has to stay with his sisters. Why? Who says who? Right? Is Dave Chappelle pro black? So right? Because the way the narrative suggests if he doesn't marry a black woman, he can't be pro black.
Can't be talking black and sleeping white, brother.
Right. Is he pro black? Right. So you're not allowed to pick yourself. What I mean by pick yourself is make decisions for yourself.
Right.
What you like.
Out of the black app.
Yeah, outside of that, what that means you see a pair of sneakers, you like them. They don't have to be Jordans.
They could be sketches.
They could be Skechers, bro. Totally. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you're riding down the street, the music you're listening to, it does not have to be Future.
There could be country outside
Yeah.
of Nas X.
Man, it could be Willie Parker, man. You know what I mean? It can be Joan Baez. It can be Bob Dylan. Why not? It's music, right? That's what you like. See, you're not allowed to do what you like. You have to do what the culture suggests. And the culture, the black app, seeks out and spots those that are innocent. And it does its best job to steal innocence away from people. And then next thing you know, you don't even remember what you used to like. You're doing the app. So when you hear someone like Dave Chappelle, he ain't doing the app, dude. Like you could just feel him, listen to his jokes, listen to his storytelling. You know what I'm saying?
He's not doing the app.
He's not doing the app. And that's why I mean Dave Chappelle has a huge white following. And it's interesting because all he does is to white America is give him a mirror. So it's interesting. But he's not angry though. It's funny. It really is fucking funny.
Yeah, he's comedic.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, this is the sign of this is how you sound and you feel when you pick yourself, bro. I mean, I know the sound because I pick myself. The culture don't come before me. Never. Ever. I come first every motherfucking time.
Mm-hmm.
And my decision making is for me. I'm first. And if my cup runneth over, then the culture can get little sweat droplets of what is from my cup, but nothing more though. You can't get my household. You can't get my kid. You can't get my innocence. You can't get my ideals. You know what I'm saying? I'm not waking up in the morning trying to figure out what to do for black people. No, 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 no. You got Jesus for that. You got him. So I don't need to do shit.
Yes.
You got him, right? So Dave, he's genius, dog. He's a genius. I enjoyed it. I was fucking hollering. I seen it today. I was rolling, yo. You know what I'm saying? He's great. And because he has levels of innocence.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
and you right. You need that to make unbiased observations,
Right. Totally.
right? Things that still tinge your eyes, like, oh shit, what the fuck did I just see? And
Right.
society is just too, you know, everybody got the motherfucking, you know, the horse blinder shutters on.
hmm
Mind your business. You don't just see that.
hmm Yeah.
Like that's
And
a
it,
old man with lipstick on and a red wig. Like what you talking about? I didn't see it. What the fuck is that?
you know, Dave is funny. Um, it's about like having the immune system. Like I'm in DC area, bro. So I see different type of people,
Yes, you do.
and you know what, Blue? I'm unbothered, bro. You know why I'm unbothered? Because I've just come to the point where, you know what, dude? I'm just passing through, my nigga. That's all I am. Is just passing through. And it's so interesting that a lot of our time in on this planet goes into things that have nothing to us but us passing through. We really are bent out of shape about how the world looks or how it should look. Yo, you just passing through, B. That's all you doing is passing through. It ain't that fucking serious. You really think I'm tripping over a tranny and what they're doing in their life, or a gay person, or they're trying to take my masculinity? Are you serious? You fighting that war? You serious? You gonna wake up one day and be 60? The fuck are you talking about? Like, the world always changed. What do you think it looked like in the early 1900s at the dawn of the industrial age? And you come from like an egalitarian society. The world always changes, bro. It dips, goes high. Snow glaciers melt, they form. You know what I'm saying? Land masses sink, land masses rise. You know what I'm saying? Is it true that the Sahara Desert was once a fucking ocean?
Right.
So what are you talking about? And why do you care? Because it's so easy to care. You know why? Because you can't change it. It's hard to change the shit in your face, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's hard to get up every day when your alarm clock go off and not press the snooze button. It's hard to have a healthy relationship with your children and the person you had a kid with. It's hard to do repetition. It's hard to be disciplined. It's not hard at the water cooler, nigga, talking about trannies and what you don't like about this and you don't like about that. That's the black app. The thing about the black app, it doesn't teach success on no levels, not financially, not and the way we talk about, we'd be like, I'm spiritual, as if spirituality is a hobby. I'm so spiritual, but what the fuck the spiritual thing does a person do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ask them, yo, Blue. Next time someone tells you they're spiritual, ask them to do something spiritual in front of your face.
Right. Let me see that spiritual.
Yeah, show me. What that look like?
I know what the Dougie look like. What do spiritual?
Yeah, they say I'm spiritual like it's a fucking nationality, nigga. I'm spiritual.
Oh, you from Spiritonia, huh? Okay.
Yeah, Lou, you know what I'm saying? But when you take them trips up to Mount Shasta, bro, technically that's not a nigga trip, bro.
Oh, I kid you not. I was having this conversation with myself right after I got past KFC and seeing what I seen. I was in Target and shit. And I don't know what sparked the conversation in my mind, but I'm always talking to myself. So in my own mind, I was like, because okay, I was talking to myself about the black hat, and it was like I can't even do things that come natural to me, and not that I can't do it, but if I outwardly advertise it, it's gonna be received as, oh, that's the white folks. You trying to do what white people do, and I'm like, so what? We associate white people with hiking, swimming,
Mm, 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 mm.
uh,
Mm, mm, mm.
foraging in the Amazon, going
Mm,
to
mm, mm.
ayahuasca and sacred plant medicine trips and shit like that. I was just like, no, black
Blue, I lost you, bro. Can you hear me? I can't hear you, bro. Can anybody hear Blue? Can anybody hear me? I don't know. I don't know, Blue. I can't hear you. But I'm gonna talk until you talk because I can't hear you. So we don't got no space. But um, yeah, your Mount Shasta trip when you left your Mount Shasta trip, bro. When you post those pictures, you look different, bro. You know what I'm saying? You look different. That's not a trip that people even understand. You know what I mean? You look free. You look, and that's a shame. So only white people. Yo, check it out. The other day, I'm watching a TED talk, right? And the dude on the TED talk, he's part of a team that built it's a submarine. And this submarine allows them to go to the very depths of the ocean, like the Marina Trench, right? And it dawned on me. I was like, yo, the white man is so far ahead of day to day shit that they're going to Mount Everest and they're building contraptions to go to the very bottom of the ocean. Elon Musk is trying to go to Mars. CERN is trying to create multiple dimensions and splitting particles and shit. And I'm like, what do niggas do? Because it's to the point where Caucasian people is bored. They done climbed all the mountains. They done did all the jungles. They done did everything. And the height of a nigga's life is a fucking car. What a slap in the face. You got people traveling all the way to the bottom of the ocean, dude. The bottom of the ocean. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing we can trip off of is a whip. That's making it. Yo, we need new thought leaders, yo. If people are gonna be leaders, they need to be leaders in thought, man. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, this shit is trash. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Blue, when you show me the pictures of Mount Shasta, I actually feel sorry. I feel sorry for you for the simple fact that niggas don't know what they looking at when they're looking at your shit. And you can't even share it with nobody. And when people ask you what you got going on, you got to say nothing. You got to dumb your shit down. Why you got to dumb your shit down? Because that ain't what niggas do. You know what I'm saying? But when is niggas gonna switch it up though? That's the thing about the app. So everybody has to decide what they on. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hold it down until my nigga come back. Everybody gotta decide what they on. You know what I mean? What mean the world to you? Is when you wake up in the morning, is it hella important for you to be a part of the app? Or when you look at you and your family, you like, you know what? We trailblazers, we gonna make our own motherfucking way, and ain't nobody gonna stop us. And we don't care what it looks like. We don't care how it sounds. We gonna wear what we want to wear. We gonna dress how we want to dress. You know what I'm saying? We gonna move how we want to move, and we gonna get off that nigga app. See, what a lot of people didn't even know and didn't even understand is you thought you was leaving one matrix and you hopped in another matrix. You thought you was leaving the church and it was all good, right? You thought you was leaving the school system and it was all good. Nah, the conscious community is trash too. You left one matrix to get into a whole nother matrix. You know what I'm saying? Where they police your whole being over here. So you got choices. Because the thing about the nigga app, it permeates itself in every single thing. It ain't just it ain't just in the streets, it ain't just in the hood, it's in the conscious community too. So what you gonna do? How you gonna pivot? How you gonna move? You know what I'm saying? What's the play? You know what I'm saying? You got options. You know what I mean? The options is you gonna have to pick yourself. That's the option. Ain't nothing deep about that shit. Ain't nothing super philosophical about that. And the problem is people want it so deep Niggas just want to be deep. You know what I mean? It ain't that deep. We about to finish 2019. Are you going to pick yourself or not? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to do what works for you or not? Or you really give a fuck what these niggas say and you really got these crackers on a pedestal? You know what I mean? Because, yo, one thing for sure, two things for certain. You going to die. So in the process, what you doing? You got a little bit of time in the middle. What's the play, yo? What's the play? You know what I'm saying? What's a win look like to you? You know, you have options. You don't got to follow the nigga app. You don't got to dress how these people dress. You don't got to wear what they're wearing. You don't got to think how they think. And who cares what they think about you? You feel me? That you've been lied to. Everybody is positioning for power. You know what I'm saying? Hey, oh, go ahead, bro. I just been having church since you get back, nigga. I can see you though. All right, I'm gonna wait till you come on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you know what I mean? And when you free yourself from this shit, yo, it's an incredible feeling. I can't even describe it to you. You know what I mean? It feels great. And you realize that you will survive and you realize that it's more stuff on the other side. You know what I mean? And you just got lied to. That's all it is. You believe the lie. I believe the lie too. You know what I mean? I believe the lie too. I was angry and, I wanted to come over I thought the conscious people had the answers for me. You know what I'm saying? But they was just fucked up like everybody else. Blue, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right. I had to hold it down. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Had to go to church real quick. You know what I mean? You know. Oh, okay, yeah. I can't get in my bag though. You know what I'm saying? When I start banging, but go ahead, man. Go ahead and balance it out. Oh yeah. I would have went to 3 a.m. just until there was one person here. Just campaigning like a motherfucker.
Campaigning, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm a campaign.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck did I leave off on?
I was just talking about how niggas is trash.
I mean, like I said, and this is a conversation that
Mount Shasta. There you go.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with myself just about how I can't be extensive and outwardly in my experiences, meaning that I can have these experiences, but sharing them without backing them up with an hour and a half explanation for people, why would you do that? What's that about? And I'm just like, yo, like, I go into nature, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like fresh air. I like to be at high altitudes, but in that spraying, what's chemtrails? God damn it. You gotta like walk the shit all the way down and explain it to somebody and build it all the way up. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
It to even be I can't even say makes sense. Just for them to be like, oh, okay, that's some cool shit, and then they're gonna make an off-brand correlation, like, I I seen that shit on Full House, there's no interest, there's no inquiry, there's no, would that actually better my own life? Like, oh, breathing good air, that helps my lungs, which means what? Like, you gotta explain everything to a nigga. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what are you getting out of it at the end of the day? Other than saying, I put somebody onto some shit that only lasts for 10 minutes until they see a fucking Popeyes commercial, then all of that shit is out the window. So I was speaking earlier on my live about what we're witnessing, what I witnessed as a child. It affected me in my formative years, and what I witnessed other people fall victim to, and what I'm witnessing today is all a result of bomb ass marketing. You know what I'm saying? The fact that when I grew up, white Western male ideals and dominance, it was marketed to me through wrestling, through
Mm.
westerns, through white men with guns, Lethal Weapon, Rambo, Charles Bronson. The ideal of beauty in the world was expertly marketed to me through white women, whether it was Wonder Woman, whether it was Heather Locklear, whether it was Brooke Shields, whether it was Princess Diana, whether it was fucking Barbie commercials, whether, Miss Piggy, god damn it.
Real shit.
Like, I couldn't go nowhere outside of my own particular, what I'm saying? Thank God for my Umi and what have you. But outside of that, thank God for Felicia Rashad, you know what I'm saying? And thank God for Penny. And thank God for Ebony A's, right? There was like only 3 porno stars when I was growing up. Ebony A's, right? Only 3. A nigga, it was Ebony A's. It was motherfucking what's her name? Spanish broad with the body.
What does she work for? Booty Talk?
Huh?
Who does she work for? Booty Talk?
Nah, Evasive Angels. This was way back in the day.
Oh,
You talking about
oh God.
Vanessa Del Rio, right?
No, I'm talking about
I'm
like
talking about Del Rio, right?
Obsession and Isla Fox and
You're younger than me. This was afterwards. This was
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
I'm saying
well,
I was growing up, right? I'm a little bit older than you.
okay.
Only like 3 porn stars, my nigga. And they rotated them. And Ron Jeremy ran through everything, right? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I could only watch my porn in squiggly lines. So I used to, try to get the Playboy channel, but it was in squiggly lines though.
Really live.
And yeah, and then for like 30 seconds, I might get a clear view.
Let's go back. Elizabeth, right? From with Randy Macho Man Savage.
Okay.
Macho Man Savage that had Elizabeth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he had Elizabeth.
Puff's gonna correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, he had Elizabeth.
Yeah, he had Elizabeth. Rocky with Adrian, right? We spoke of this before. Superman is going to fight motherfuckers on other planets, but he makes it in time to make sure that Lois Lane get to work on time.
That's fact.
All of this shit works on my fucking work. It was working on our psyche. It didn't have to be in bold letters what was being said to us. It was marketed and advertising. We ate it up. You dig what I'm saying? And there wasn't really no counterbalance. So I don't, you know what I mean? Even though the shit I might look at it and be like, this shit look disgusting. I can't necessarily take it personal when I'm seeing with melanated people in the month of August in particular, running out to get chicken, and because I understand that this is successful marketing. You know what I'm saying? Someone did a motherfucking test study to say, look, this is how we're gonna line this shit up, and then hit a chord. It was successful. And niggas do what niggas always do. They ran with it and they successfully pushed their marketing into the stratosphere that a company couldn't even expect. Like, well, god damn, somebody cut somebody a check.
Well, Blue, let me ask you this. What could niggas do though? And what I mean by that is we're scientists are at play and Edward Barnay's propaganda, you know what I'm saying? And things like that. So if this truly is a matrix and to be saved is to be unplugged, technically, isn't this the way things are supposed to be?
Technically, yeah.
So for those that unplug, shouldn't they? Do you think that those unplugged should begin to mind their business? Because technically, if this is what it is, but it's not just in the States, this is global. If you live in China, there's no free press. The internet has a kill switch. You don't have freedom of speech. There's a system all over the planet, wherever you live. If you live in Russia, it was KGB. If you lived in Germany, it was the Third Reich. It was something. If you lived in Cambodia area, Pol Pot was doing his thing. Everywhere you go, Phil Valentine said, everywhere you go, there you are.
Right.
Right?
Africa had a part. Ireland had the IRA.
Ireland had the IRA, right? The world, yo, this is the thing, bro. What makes our reality so ill is because we live inside a production. The real world, especially when you watch nature shit, everything is trying to eat something.
Back.
And we live in a world where I can go to the faucet and click the switch and water comes down. Right? I got heat coming out of my vent. That's a production. This is not the real world at all. Okay? We're in fantasy. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, even marketing, bro, this is what the people want. They want this, bro. They want to be marketed to and persuaded. They enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if we take let's take a little bit of Zachariah's shit and mix it. If it's true that the seed of humanity is a slave experience from Anunnaki or whatever, blah blah. Let's just say it's 50% true, 30%.
Let's be clear for the people who might hear that and not understand what was being said.
Okay.
Zachariah Sitchin is a science fiction writer who posits with his science fiction as nonfiction. And he said that according to
Sumerian tablets,
that this planet was seeded by 7-foot tall, pale skin, blonde hair, Anunnaki aliens, and they touched down in South Africa. They created a species, either they encountered or they created a species, and these melanated people were specifically created for slave labor to mine
gold. Yeah, to mine gold,
which is a source of energy throughout the universe. I'm going to do my shameless plug right now. Goldwater.com.
Marketing.
GOLDE for exceptional and extraterrestrial water.com. GOLDE water.com. Yes. So that's what Zachariah Sitchin said, that the seeding of humanity was for the sole purposes of us being worker bees in a universe that is comprised of worker bees, right? Who are toiling for the greater good of extraterrestrial, I can't say humanity, but for extraterrestrial existence and species. And this is how the concentric cycle or circle continues to spin. One wheel is spinning, a larger wheel is spinning a larger wheel. Right? So, yes.
So let's just say, it's a lot of truth in that. There's something I noticed, Blue, about the human being, just observing. People want to be slaves, bro. They want to be controlled, right? It's not that many people trying to be free for real, my nigga, to think for themselves and to be in control of their own destiny. If people wanted to be free, my nigga.
Not easy.
Huh?
It's not easy at all. I mean, let me clarify. When I'm saying it's not easy, for people that have been used to things being done for them, their entire existence. Like you said, being able to go to a faucet, these are the things that we take for granted that we feel is part of our humanity, part of our existence. And we don't know that people outside of this constructed reality like that. They don't have fucking warm water. They don't have access to water like that. They gotta walk 2 miles and carry water on a bucket on their head back to a village just to wash up to walk another 10 miles to school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, they're not doing that in Jordans either, my nigga.
Mm-hmm.
So we, again, because of the way that we have been constructed inside of a construct, we have a tendency to believe that this is normalcy, not understanding that the rest of the world does not have these privileges. So when you have been conditioned and raised in a fucking incubator like that, right? Or domesticated, you know what I'm saying? You're a lion that has grown up in the zoo. And then there you know, when the cage gets popped open, you're very fucking reluctant to go out into the wild. Okay? So very few people are going to want to live off grid, forage food for themselves, right? Light fucking fire so they can heat water up in the motherfucking throughout the day to have hot water, right? Be in control of every aspect and facet of your everyday existence. It's all the way on you because you can get eaten out here if you slip. Like for real, not for play, for play. Okay? Who's wanting to sign up for that? Because if so, I got a few hundred acres that I could put your ass on right now to get some work done. I can't even get people out to clear the bush, let alone live on that shit.
Real shit. So this is why I say people want slavery, dude. Dead ass. The mere fact that people have a television, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel sorry for niggas, dog. I used to.
The mere
What?
fact people have a television, what?
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So peep it. Peep it. In the grand scheme of things, the poorest areas in the country got a satellite dish on their house, bro.
Oh yeah, they got satellite dishes on trailers. I seen them.
That says a lot, my nigga. That says a lot, my nigga.
But look, if you live in a country with a median household, right, for white Americans is $100,000. That's the median household, right? Is a fucking satellite dish is the bottom feeder amenity of a society with a medium household might be $100,000. Cable is the least you can do.
But we got to qualify that too, because when you look at the census, and I'm talking those that qualify as that identifies Caucasian, is 4 times the Negro population. B.
Right, so about 260 million.
Hold on, let's get an accurate number because with this ADOS and all that shit, they talk about how much white people, but they don't talk about that number, and that number is super fucking important, bro. So let's get it down to a science so we know. Yeah, right. So we know, right? All right. So out of 308 million, according to one of the census, Caucasians are, as of 2010, Caucasians are 72% of that. So let's do the math. What's 72% of what's 72% of 300 something million? So we could get the numbers. And if you don't think it's a lot of white people in the country, just go to the airport. America runneth over with crackers. It's like, don't run out. It's so many of them. Yeah. So when we get this number.
The airport.
So the last I checked, it was 4 times that. So if they say the black population is 45 million, well, white population is 4 times that, right? So it's so many whites in America that they can take the population of niggas and just let them be poor, and it does not matter whatsoever. They got it to spare. They got 45 million people to spare. The whole Negro population. Right? Hold on. I'm gonna we get this down to a science. So we know the number.
Census up, bro, to tell you.
All right, yeah, I'm on some. Now within that white population is a minority group called Jewish people, right? And if you talk to a white nationalist or listen to somebody like Tom Metzger or Ben Klassen, he wrote the book The White Man's Bible, or you listen to Matt Hale, and like I listen to right-wing white racists, black people are their least concern. They hate Jewish people. Black people, or what's considered the mud races, not even on the motherfucking totem pole. They don't even take niggas that serious because they judge warfare based on intellect. And based on intellect, the Negro is looked at as a child. It's not my opinion. Read the White Man's Bible. This is, and also look at Felipe Rushby. They used to do the IQ test, and globally, not just by Europeans, globally, the Black American man is looked at as a boy in terms of mentality. It's kind of hard to say that they don't have a point, though. It's kind of fucked up, but shit. Black men don't cheat. What can you expect? Hold on. Relation of whites. Yeah, you got to listen to these people talk, man. You know, read their literature and shit. It's very interesting. Let me see. Because you just threw me a number, Blue. You said, okay. So look, all right. So non-Hispanic whites. Now, when you include Hispanic whites, the population is more. Now, just for some clarity purposes, a lot of people don't know this. Before the Anglo-Saxon came to America, the Spaniard or conquistador was already here. So the conquistador is considered white. All right. So the conquistador ran all through Central America, South America, and America Southwest. Now, what got Spain, this is something that's not being told because our reality is dominated by Afrocentric thought. Europe was brought out of the Dark Ages not by Black slaves, but by South American gold. Right? This is facts. There was so much silver. In fact, in the Andes, there's a silver mountain. Before the British ever got to America, the Spanish had ran through this motherfucker already.
Right.
Let's be clear.
About this the other day.
The Spanish Empire was one time the biggest empire in the world. Now, how did this occur? Because of the doctrine of discovery. So the Spanish and the Portuguese set in motion something that still occurs to this day. The Portuguese made their way all the way to Asia. You have tales of Marco Polo, stuff like that. This is before Britain ever stepped foot in American soil. The Spanish was already over here. So when they say non-Hispanics, whites, they draw a distinction. So that's basically saying like German, Anglo-Saxon. The biggest ethnicity of Europeans in this country is German. But non-Hispanic whites, the number in America is and this is as of the last census. 197,285,202. Now, the Negro population in America is 45 million. And the population of whites, non-Hispanic, if you put Hispanic in there, the shit is over 200 million. So the fact that niggas is nigging, bruh, like, are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't know what to look at, right? Okay, so now that median income, bro, being 100,000 is because there's so many of them. Now, it ain't just systematic oppression the reason why that number is like that. The reason why that number is like that is because niggas have dumb behavior. They have a behavior that they didn't display before. When you look at niggas having all the land, the wealth, the businesses that they had a behavior that went with that too. But the Black American has an uneconomic behavior pattern. So that's why that number is like that. I told you, in the African American History Museum, Reginald Lewis is not in there. Those people that you and I talked about. Huh?
Mary Pleasant is not
Mary Pleasant's not in there. Alonzo Hurden is not in there. No, none of them. None of them. So the part of the reason why Dave Chappelle said something deep in his thing. He said the difference between poor whites and poor blacks is the poor white feels like they're not supposed to be poor. That's the difference. That was so deep, yo. He said the poor white feels like they're not supposed to be poor. The poor black is okay with that shit. How is he okay? Look at the behavior. You know what I'm saying?
Almost a prerequisite for his realness.
You know what I'm saying? The poor black is okay with being poor. Because if not, change it. And then what happens is you got Negro leadership, Negro pastors that come and pacify the niggas and tell them it's not their fault, when clearly you're fucking up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that part right there, that's why that median income is actually higher than that. But yes, Europeans did get an economic jump, but I also got a book called White Trash. There's a blind spot in terms of American history to assume that all crackers got money, and it's not like that. It's not like that. So yeah. Oh, but the Spanish, man. One day we got to really do a real big build on the Spanish Empire, because it's not really talked about in Afrocentric spaces. You know what I'm saying? We talk about, you know, Africa so much and Pan-Africanism that we leave a lot of history out. And Spanish history, what Spain did, the conquistadors, what Cortez and Hernandez, what these people did, you know, you can't leave that shit out of the conversation, because this is where you get the misclassification of Negroes and blacks and who Native Americans are. It's from the Spanish.
We speak on it. Me and Red, you know, we've spoken on it. The day of 1619 situation, I went live and, you know, spoke to the fact that the first documented slaves, you know, were not, you know, brought here in 1619. The first documented slaves were sent here, from here to Europe by Spain, by the Spaniards. You know, when they were snatching up the indigenous people over here and depopulating, you know, these countries to snatch the the natural resources, there was a reverse transatlantic slave trade. They were sending melanated indigenous people from here to Spain because you don't have no motherfucking historical records of no Tonto looking Indians going over to Spain in servitude. Those were melanated people. They likened them onto the same people who they just left, and those were the So they was like, oh, we got some Moriscos over here. We're gonna send them over. Queen Isabella. Now, so we speak about the complicity of the Catholic Church and the papal bulls, in particular, the doctrine of discovery, in 1493, you know what I mean, and all of the things that have to be, so we can't have a conversation about the atrocities of this planet, of this particular landmass, without covering what the Spaniards did in their role.
Facts.
But even to the ADOs, to the people who are putting together, because look at the way that this ties in to the people, and it happened immediately, to the people that are putting together this paperwork and that are looking to get some sort of redress for the wrongs that have been done. The people, if you identify yourself with being a descendant of the 20 somewhat slaves or the 20 somewhat Africans who came over here in captivity, allegedly August 20th, 1619, even though there is a historical record. And I'm not talking about the Olmecs, I'm not talking about Africans that came over to the Americas. I'm saying Africans who had revolts and what have you in the earlier 1600s and the 1500s in this country before that historical date of August 20th, 1600. Okay. What I'm saying is that if you are attempting to get anything back for the damages that have been done, you have to look to Portugal, you have to look to Spain, and you have to look to the Catholic Church. As long as you're leaving those three out of the conversation, and you have this short-sighted, I'm going to target. America was incorporated in 1776, my nigga. Like, who you gonna get for the shit that happened in 1619? That's just a fucking lopsided conversation altogether to even have, and you're not targeting the people who are documented with being involved with your slavery and your servitude. And Portugal are the same ones who took melanated people to Brazil, and a few days later, if not a day later, that shit was on fire.
Right.
At the same time. And the shit is burning in the Congo and it's burning in Angola, right? Two other places where your ancestors came from. So everywhere that your ancestors came from and the people responsible for taking your ancestors, that shit is popping off right now because they got unprecedented hailstorms hitting Spain right now. They have forest fires that are dwarfing the Amazon in Africa, right? And it's and this shit going on every fucking where. Right now, as we speak, and the universe is conspiring, great divine speaks through signs. And what are niggas doing? Chasing a fucking chicken down. But no judgment. I'm just saying. I look at things through the lens of symbolism, and you know what I mean. The how shit is cosmologically lined up to be like, oh, okay, what do the signs on the wall say? I don't want to hear what niggas got to say. Let me read the signs on the motherfucking wall. So, Portugal, very interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody talking about no smoke to Portugal, and they don't even come up in the conversation.
Right. They don't.
Spain don't come up in the conversation. People romanticize shit. Motherfuckers are still, blacks who travel and the young millennials and shit. They vacationing in these places, taking shit.
Right.
No fucking idea. History has not been properly taught. Shame on the Pan Africans. Shame on the motherfucking RBGs. You know what I'm saying? For not targeting. Who is responsible for this shit? I mean, you're supposed to create an effigy of that motherfucking Pope. And every Juneteenth, that motherfucker's supposed to get beat like a pinata. They don't even got an effigy of fucking Columbus that's being burnt. God damn it.
Blue, is it because people don't really know where to? I mean, where would people start, bro? Because where it's for real. Where would
let's direct the angst? They don't even know where to target. They don't know where to target their angst.
I mean, where do you actually target though? Like, where do you start?
Right.
I mean, seriously, bro. Where do you start?
Doctrine of discovery.
Right. We start at the doctrine, right?
Once together, and we go to the international courts, because that's still that's the first international documentation, legally binding documentation, and it's still on the record. So until you knock that cornerstone down, nothing else is gonna come toppling down. So hack that piece of documentation, and I get that stricken, and I unify with the indigenous people over here to go with them and do that. We do that in unison. You know what I'm saying? In unison as one. We go and we tackle that document. And then we start taking motherfucking heads from there. Right? We go to the Catholic Church, we go to Spain, and we go to Portugal in a class action suit. Right? In a class action suit. That's everywhere that they dominated, right? In the name of the doctrine of discovery, those are the places that you go to get down with your class action suit. And you go for these people for fiduciary motherfucking redress. They have to pay back the trillions that were stolen and the damages that were done in the name of that document. It's an international binding legal document. And without that document, technically, they would not have been able to do what they did. So that's where you start.
But the thing about it is, how do you draw up a case in that language when we're kind of arguing morality? When it's not wrong what they did in their culture, it's not wrong. So to pull,
what's interesting? Not to cut you, but if you study their at that time in the 1500s and the 1600s, they were having public debates about this same conversation that me and you
right, true.
So there's documentation that proves that no, all of them did not agree that this was minus that, because the moral compass comes in because they was playing the game of Christianity. They were playing the game of religion. And that game has a trick switch to it. And that's where the morality shit comes in at. So they was playing a game that can ultimately be their undoing if we know how to get in there and tweak the language. This is all based on the tweaking of language. Because the lawyers, they had their lawyers come in and tweak language for those documents to be binding lawfully or legally, should I say. They had to tweak the language. So you got to get in there and start unraveling the shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's all based on lawful and unlawful use of language that later on is backed up by force. The shit starts on paper. But this all about black and white.
But okay, but again, so Blue, okay, so if at that particular time, those who are disagreeing, of course, for us to know their opinion, they're very important people, right? They're on the opposite side of some monarchy, right? They're not the common man, because we would never know their voices. Now, the thing that makes it a slippery slope is because we have to consider the history of Europe inside of this, right? So we have to consider France versus England. We have to consider Germany. We have to consider their wars, their feudal system, and how they seen the world. That document was based primarily also on how the world was seen at that time, the divine right of kings, things like that, right? That's important, right? Because okay, a lot of times when we don't understand Europeans, it's because we don't understand European history and how those ways in Europe, those people walked around the world with those ways. For example, when they're coming to America and they're like, wait a minute, I can take this land right here. Remember, the country they live in, the king has all the land. You had to be nobility to have any type of land rights. Right. Here in America, you can be a common Joe Schmo with a great ideal and make it big. That was revolutionary in terms of European history. Facts. It wasn't like that. So it'll be hard to pin a case like that because hell, if I come from a bloodline of Europeans that was dominated by England or France or Spain, I would have a case too. So the thing about it is, who would have a case or not under the guise and under the laws of the land at that particular time? Because if you were in Ireland, my nigga, yo, if you see a black person get some fucking right, you like, hold on, you're England had they foot on our throat for 1,000 years. Mm-hmm. Based on those same documents. So so what are you going to give the whole planet something? That's very tricky because the thing about even the diaspora, when we look in world history, it has its unique parts to it, but in terms of human suffering, it's not unique. We don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. In terms of human suffering, it's not unique, bro. It's just the history of man. When we start going region by region and looking at, when we say, oh, we've been through the most, that's not actually true. I'll give you one. I'll give you one better. You'll go your whole fucking life without seeing a Native American. Native Americans have no representation nowhere. Somebody will say, well, they on the red. Bro, I brought you to the res. You see that shithole? Yeah, that shit's crazy. That shit was bad. And that little $2,800 a person gets a month, that's poverty. That's poverty. It looks fucked up on the res. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is niggas have some type of grace and favor too. But anyway, bro, again, in the history of man, the shit that happened in the diaspora is a moment in time that's unfortunate, but it's not unique in terms of human suffering. Millions of people died under Stalin. That's a fact. Millions of people died under Pol Pot. That's a fact. People died under Chairman Mao. That's a fact. Rape, pillaging, that's just a human condition. That's what happens because humans gone human. So who would be the person to get compensated for some shit? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you not saying it can't be done. I don't think it can be done in large groups. Large groups. Now, someone says, well, people in Israel get reparations. That's true, but they're a nation too. Mm-hmm. And that shit is done through their government.
Right. That's powerful.
And if you found out that they get $150 a year, man, we spend that on Jay. Stop playing. Stop playing. The reparations the Native Americans get, that shit is shitty. It's shitty. We make way more paper than that. per capita were killing them. They got the highest suicide rate. Bro, I brought you to the res. So I don't know, man. I don't even know what they were starting out. Now I have a solution. I have a solution that for the Black American to get any type of kickback, they would have to separate themselves the same way as those from England separated themselves from England. We could not all be one group. We would have to separate and become a distinct group, and we would have to become a corporation. That's the only way it will work because a corporation has the most rights in America.
Mm.
If you're trying to do it as a natural person, it's never going to work. But if you nationalize and become a nation and your nation is a corporation, there you go. Because who you going to sue? Can't sue United States government. You got to come out of corporation. So that's my solution. That you have to be your own group of people away from the rest of the niggas. Everybody can't go though. It can't be everybody. It got to be a exodus, just like in Europe, my nigga. They became their own people in the 13 colonies after the Revolutionary War. So Black Americans have to draw a line down the sand and become their own group of people and put yourself and become a corporation. There you go. I just gave you the answers. That part.
That part, Somebody, cut this portion up and inbox the people. I'm sure that y'all know who need to be inboxed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea. You got to be a corporation. That'll work, Blue. You know what I'm saying? We say the United States is a corporation, so not just be a nation. Be a nation your nation is a corporation. That I mean, it has to be a business approach.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, shit. I'm hearing other people talk. It sounds good. You know what I mean? Might as well have radical ideals. Why not? You're not gonna get shit no way. So might as well just shoot for the. Might as well go for the gusto. Right? You know what I'm saying? Right?
As well.
You know what I mean? Might as well. But all in all, I mean, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Pick a fight. You know what I'm saying? There's so much shit cracking. Pick a fight.
We was talking about Chappelle and his, return to political incorrectness. And, you can't help but automatically think about Richard Pryor when you hear Dave Chappelle. You know what I'm saying? Because we always have a comparison mechanism in our head, and we're like, "Damn, what does this remind me of?" You know what I mean? So Chappelle of his day and time, of this particular day and time, we would say best reminds us of Richard Pryor in his day and time. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear the story that popped off yesterday and today dealing with Richard Pryor and Paul Mooney?
Yeah, bro. It'd be so. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Um, I don't know quite what to think of it. Outside of the way that the news is disseminated, uh, I remember a program when we had the Mooney twins on, and then I think we brought Sabi on the day after that, and say, you know, I had brought up the fact that we had the Mooney Twins on, and then Sabi Sabi had some wild shit to say about Mr. Mooney, you know, and then I started hearing, you know, murmurs in the community that people's like, oh, you don't know about such and such. And then they took me to a segment on YouTube where they was roasting Richard Pryor, and they had some very explicit things to say about his then friend, or you know, maybe they have fallen out by that time, but they said something about Paul Mooney, hitting sausages and shit like that. So
I
that's
mean, that's
that's
not
one
hard.
thing. Yeah, I mean that's one thing within itself. But then, you know, to bring the conversation back to abuse, or you know, him doing something with Richard Pryor's son. You know what I mean? I'm just like, you know, I don't really want to. You know what I mean? The
Um,
security, I mean, for the lack of a better term, what am I? The security guard, you know, because I watched the interview, and the security guard sounded very adamant, and he looked like he was in a truthful moment. And he was telling it. You know what I'm saying?
um, I mean, we would be lying if we said Paul Mooney didn't have an interesting swag. Like no one wants to. It's so interesting what people pick and choose to pick at. So because he says black shit from time to time, we seem to be leaving him alone in that area right there.
Right.
But if we found out he was a Trump supporter, we'll call him all type of gay nigga.
Yeah, they throw him all the way under the bus.
Um, what I don't like though is I don't like people talking about people's sexual business. I don't like that. Um, if everybody is consenting, that's what y'all do, yo. The thing about it is people gotta understand some people is just straight freaks, yo. And that's what the fuck it is. See, me, I'm able to separate and look at sex for what it is. It's an act. That's all it is. It's a behavior that you like to do. And this is how immature the culture is, where sex is news. Oh, did you hear about this? Oh, let me tell you about it's just sex, yo. However you like it, that's your fucking business. You know what I'm saying? It's immature. That's your thing. Everybody comes differently. People really, really, really put morality or whatever into a sexual area. Are you fucking kidding? First of all, this is man's primal self, and there is no limits to how far man will go. That's just what it is. That shit been like that before I was born. So I hate to hear those kind of stories, yo. Because you know why? Because there's practical shit. Like people don't know how to get a business line of credit. They don't know how to get a guarantor. You know, they don't know how to get the type of business line of credit that's revolving. So when they pay on the loan, they can still access the capital. People don't know the difference between a venture capitalist and an angel investor.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know what inflation is. And, you know, people put money in the bank expecting a return, not considering taxes and inflation. People don't know a lot of things, but what people do know is people's sexual business. That shit is weird to me. That's a problem. That's how primitive the culture is. You know what I'm saying? Sex. People still talk, yo, the price of sex is cheap. Who gives a fuck? Everybody's fucking. Been fucking. You see all these people walking around? Men fuck men, women fuck women. Strange species fuck strange species.
Think about
What
this,
else is going?
right? When
What'd you say?
Elijah came with the plus degrees or the mathematics, right? Because 19 loves, you know, sharing this stat with me. He said that the 19 million comprised of 2 million Indians and 17 million blacks. So now that we're talking about the fact that we can look at the census, which is old at this particular point, and identify the fact that there's 45 million blacks in this country, and I don't know if that's all strictly ADOS or if they counting our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean as well. It's a whole lot of fucking.
Yeah, that part. See, it's so many levels. You know what I mean? It's so many levels. Like pick your spot, right? Pick your spot. Uh, yeah, but I don't think especially people that died. I think we should try our best to preserve their name. You know what I'm saying? And it's just always a person's legacy is destroyed by some type of sexual rumor.
Yeah.
That's weird. You know what I mean? It's something about the sex. Is as technologically advanced as a culture as we are, we're very immature when it comes to sex. Very immature. So yeah, Quincy Jones put something on Richard Pryor too.
I was about to say.
So I mean, the thing about it is Richard was in Hollywood. Would I be surprised? No, I wouldn't. He's a hell of a comedian. That's his business. Everybody comes differently. That's his business. You know what I'm saying? My focus is on how does a person conduct themselves outside. I mean, what you do behind in your space, that's your space. And you earned that. You have a right for that. No matter how weird I think it is. That's my opinion. Fuck am I? You know what I mean? It's sad though. Like that's Richard Pryor. Damn. Shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's Richard Pryor. We're talking about his son, though. And the fact that I think the allegation is based on the fact that, I don't know if that was a consenting situation. They're accusing that man of taking something. It wasn't given to him, allegedly. In an interview, the brother that was being interviewed said something to the effect of, it's a taboo in our communities, things that we don't talk about. The uncles that inappropriately are touching these children, and these are activities or behaviors that are holdovers from slavery.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Let me tell you why that's a lie. How does a person know what slavery behavior is and they was never a slave? Where they get that from? How we always say something that's from slavery? What book they read? What book from slavery did they have? They didn't get it. They just assume everything is slavery. Let me tell you something about mankind, bro. Why you think religion was created to tame the lower nature of man? That's what it's there for, right? And you put mythology and folklore in it, and global cataclysm would occur around the planet, and these global cataclysms would have a major effect on the environment of the planet. The survivors were superstitious. So they will always look at the behavior of the people and link that to why something occurred. So then they will come with new codes and customs to hopefully to please whatever deities they serve, so nothing would happen like that again. Now, the thing about it is, check this out. Let me find the words for this so it doesn't go over people's heads. Man's nature, natural nature, is a beast. It's a beast, okay? And he finds ways to civilize himself. That's black man too, okay? You're animal first on this planet. And then you find a way to calm that animal to become man, all right? Now, when a uncle or somebody is putting their hands on children, that is his beast nature. He has to be educated not to do that. Because when you look in nature, that behavior goes on. There is no distinction in the animal kingdom what's too young to do something with. There's no distinction, my nigga. It just is what it is. A person has to be educated not to do that. See, we live in this reality now where we got things upside down and we think things are natural or not natural. To do some shit like that, it is very fucking natural. We don't like that shit. It's natural. You have to be trained early. Listen to what I'm saying. You have to be trained not to do that. That's your sister. That's your cousin.
Conditioned out of that behavior.
Yeah, you have to get conditioned out of that because your natural primal self is going to have a biological connection to other human beings. I'm not talking right or wrong. I'm talking about biology. Someone has to tell you, yo, that's your cousin. Oh, okay. Right? Oh, that's your sister. Oh, okay. Oh, that's an underage person. Oh, okay. Your biology does not care about that shit. It doesn't. Hence, around the world, people marry 12-year-old people. Their biology doesn't give a fuck that this girl is 12. America's new. We just started coming with these fucking laws. But even in Romania right now, a father is selling the services of his young daughter in exchange for trinkets. That's the old world. Now, in different societies, depending on the education, you say that's wrong. No, a person has to be 18, right? So that's how it goes. You have to educate someone to take them out of their animal body. You're not born like this. You're born animal. And you try to go to your, remember, quote, higher self. When we're talking about our lower nature, what are we talking about? Shitting, fucking, pissing, eating. That's the shit that happens in regular nature.
Art.
So, right? And when you fast, what are you doing? Suppressing biology. Man or the human being is the only thing in nature that can suppress its biological urges. Lion don't suppress hunger, my nigga. It doesn't suppress sex. Right? Because we have something in us that they don't. They do not suppress biological urges. Never. They're slave to it. We, on the other hand, can delay hunger. We'll be hungry and suppress it and freeze it and say, I'm not eating. Nothing else does that. Sex will delay it. They're driven by biological urge to reproduce. So, yeah. So when I hear these kind of things, context is important. Like, okay, duh, I understand he did that. He's not educated. He can't control himself. He needs a higher philosophy to be able to govern his behavior so he won't be on his knees. Because if you, look, I'll put it to you like this. Everybody talks shit about Christianity. Look at the black community without Christianity. And I ain't Christian. Just look. Look at the black community with no Islam. Do they look savage to you? Be honest. Be honest. Is Kemet, is Egyptology governing the behavior of the people? Fuck no. Look at the behavior. And I'm juxtaposing that when black people were Christian in this country. The behavior looked different.
But bro, I mean, let's be clear. You know, when we're talking about primal nature and abuse that happens in the home at the hands of the uncles and fathers, even for that matter, you know, this was stuff that was taking place from what we know generations before we got here. And
Mhm.
those people predominantly were Christians.
True that. True.
I don't
True
know,
that.
just like you said, if the ideals themselves are strong enough to keep a person from their primal nature, you know, whether we want to, in our moralistic stance, say, this shit is sick.
Right. Of course. Right. Right. Us saying it's sick doesn't change the behavior though. You know what I'm saying? Us saying it doesn't do anything. Well, you're absolutely right. That thing.
The threat of damnation, the threat of hellfire, and the threat of a motherfucking musket or a shotgun is not enough to stop that behavior, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It happens close to home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
it happens close to home. A nigga got to know his head could get blown off of that.
Totally.
Don't stop it though. So
Totally.
that leads you to say, you know, again, in our moralistic stance, we're gonna step back and say, oh, that person is psychotic. You know what I'm saying? That he must have tainted blood. You know, bore over from the rapes of slavery or what have you. But what if that's the primal nature? What if that's the shit that we are fearful of? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a yeah. But because like you said, some people are gonna go past violence to get to that urge.
But again, yeah, because there were social structures and when I say ancient civilizations, let's just say the civilization that you identify that your ancestors came from in different parts of the world, in particular, let's say the continent of Africa, because there were social structures put in place, you know, that primal nature didn't have an opportunity to surface itself. Maybe
Mhm.
if there was an arrangement, you know what I'm saying, and you could get your 13 or 12-year-old, you feel me?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but I've been down south and I've heard things that, you know what I'm saying, I couldn't believe my virgin ears were hearing. I've been in the Caribbean and these are the same things that I've heard coming from the lips of older melanated men, whether they was from the South, whether they was from the Caribbean. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And the consensus between both archetypes and both men was like, look, if she's old enough to bleed, god damn it.
Yeah. Hmm.
And that's what they came from. And they were old enough to remember a time when that was understood. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I was born in a different time.
Mhm.
And what my understanding was, my frame of reference, my conditioning, my acculturation, it was totally different based on the moralism that came with that. You know what I mean? That particular time period. And the fact that, you know, yeah, I mean, that was just my construct. That was my matrix that I was born into.
It's such a common behavior that one would have to be like, yo, why is it so common?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a common behavior to the point where you can kill up all the people that behave like that and it still pops up. So that tells me that there's something in the gene of the human. Now, the thing about it is what philosophy, what philosophy can curve that thinking like that? You know what I mean? Now, because this is the thing. I take that same concept as above, so below, and I tie it right back into the beginning of the conversation when you was talking about Jay-Z. These people are tied together through sex. I know exactly what I'm looking at. These people are tied together through fraternity, right? But it's sex that brings things full circle, man. You know what I mean? Um, and it's the same sex that the primal aspect of sex that is tying these people together in a fraternal way. in a quote unquote brotherhood way, for lack of better words. This is why you see a Jay-Z in certain places. All you have to do, as above, so below, apply it everywhere, and you know exactly what you're looking at, and you know how people are able to move. That doesn't take away from nobody's genius. That doesn't take away anything. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? That sexual expression among people of upper society, that has been going on for a very, very, very long time.
Mm.
This is what it is. And we would be yo, check it out. You don't even gotta be an elite shit. All you have to do on a lower level, ask your people at work what kind of shit they be into, what kind of parties they be going into. Now, those are the common people. What you think it looks like on another financial space? What do you think is bringing them together? You think it's just, nah, it's that primal aspect. And the fact that it's secret, it makes it even better. You know? So, you know.
Right. And look, we'll be talking about above, so below. Since we're talking about weather and these incidents, well, and again, let's juxtapose narratives. So 1619, we're dealing with the 400-year aspect of being in this country. And like I said, people like to correlate that to the curse in Genesis 15:13 of a people, a Canaanite people who were in a long, far away, foreign land in captivity for 400 years. Now, they would like to ascribe that to melanated people, and melanated people put themselves under the um, the connection to the Canaanites by way of Ham. Okay, and what was the curse of Ham? The children saw their father's nakedness, right? Not so much their father having sex, but their father's nakedness when he was drunk. Now, fast forward that to 2017, the total eclipse. Okay, I was in Mount Shasta on a mountain with a group of indigenous people as well as, the people that came out to experience this event. And we sat in the teepee in a sweat lodge from 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. doing ceremony, preparing for this eclipse. At 9 a.m., all of the indigenous, what you would call Native American or Indian people, went inside the house. They said, look, we are not watching that eclipse. I said, why? They said, because it's an omen in our tradition to watch this eclipse. They said it's likened onto you watching your mother and father have sex.
Hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
They said that the sun and the moon are copulating in the sky. And that's exactly what the shit looked like. You know what I mean? I even came across some pictures today because Facebook reminds you of all of the anniversaries. So I came across some pictures today and I was trying to explain to people, I'm like, look, motherfucking moon was mounting the sun and the sun was smashing. Like that
Mm-hmm.
the shit looked like.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't in their tradition supposed to observe this shit. Man, they had millions of motherfuckers all around this country observing that shit. A day or two after that shit, Hurricane Harvey hit.
Mm-hmm.
It never stopped. You know what I'm saying? Because I can show you every single, whether you call it an act of God, a man-made weather event, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. You feel me? This shit has been jumping off since that time period all the way up until now when you see the fucking Amazon burning and you see the fucking half of Africa on fire.
Mm-hmm.
This shit has never stopped either flooding or burning ever since that eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this celestial event of which, once again, brings us back to the sacredness of the sex act and the fact that even if we go to the Epstein shit, even if we go to the Jay-Z shit and all these fraternal situations, what do? They blackmail you. By doing what?
Hmm.
Capturing you in your sacred moment of
Mm.
whether you consider, however you consider that sexual act to be, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's a tranny or whether it's an orgy or whether it's whatever, somebody that you're doing with that's not your wife. You feel me? The fact that
Mm-hmm.
someone is able to capture that, they can hold that shit over you for the rest of your life, right? Based on what? The sacredness of that act. You rarely seen a motherfucker in society be like, "Nigga, I don't give a fuck. Fuck that shit. Suck my dick. Get that shit out. Let the whole world see you getting busy. You ain't seen it yet. You ain't seen it yet." And they got tapes on all these niggas. Like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody went quietly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody shut the fuck up and got on, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, man, that's
Yep.
that's interesting. Like you said, if we look at the above as above, so below, and the consequences that come thereafter when that sacred experience is observed
Mm.
of said individual. Now you have an entire segment in society that says, "Look, I'm willing to do it on camera and let the rest of the world watch." Right?
Mm.
Those people are powerful enough where they drive technology. You know what I'm saying? All innovations in technology have been spawned by the porn industry, from VHS to DVD, goddamn it, to the
Wow.
internet.
Okay. Right. Okay. Wow. Interesting. Hmm. Yeah. That's yeah. And Blue. This is uh. It's not a comfortable. It's not very comfortable saying these things. I mean, it is what it is. But one, you got to keep it all the way a buck. You got to keep it all the way real. And the thing about it is no judgment, no shade. It just is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's no judgment, no shade. The travesty is that now more than ever, these people have the whole planet in their business. Before things looked a little different because people was occupied with their own life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean,
Like I said, you could go on social media. Look, my nigga, when I go on Google in the morning, right, the fucking news is all tea.
mm,
It's all tea. Like everything underneath this shit on Google on the home page, they're recommending me articles that are coming out of media takeout. And all of this shit is tea. None of this shit is utility. I can't use none of that fucking news to better my life or to get my
mm,
in order. Or, you know what I mean? If I woke up at 9 a.m. and the market fluctuated at 6 because they're fucking with the Asian markets from 4, like none of that information is coming across my desk by way of Google. I gotta go look for that shit elsewhere. They're telling me the most important thing of the motherfucking day is what happened on Love and Hip Hop on Monday. Or the fact that Nicki Minaj went nuclear on Joe Buttons on the motherfucking Queen Radio. This shit is on Google.
yeah, right. It is. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Totally. Yeah. How about that?
gossip and
Yeah.
entertainment
Yeah. Totally.
in an election in 2019. The fact that the media took a black eye in the last election cycle, they just said, "Fuck it,
Hmm.
the gig is up. This is only the real news right here. Is this gossip shit, the tea?" I'm like, yo, this is bizarre world. Where the fuck am I at? Shit crazy. I mean, but this is what you get when a reality star
Hmm.
is the fucking president.
Yeah. That's bizarre world. I mean, the
We on
people,
yeah.
the people love it.
Hey,
So
Matrix 4 is coming out. You know what I'm saying? They announced that shit on the Jubilee Day too.
yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah. I mean, yo, this, I don't even know what to say. You know what I mean? I mean, it like it is. It's a dumpster, like I said in the beginning, and it's just something you watch and you study and you just create the immune system for it. So you know what I mean? You know how to slide. You know how to move through this thing, and you know what's what. And you don't have to know. You don't have to be in the room to know what's going on in the room.
But what happened when it becomes sticky and you
What
can't
happened
see
when it becomes what?
when it becomes sticky?
Uh yo, you gotta do your best. You know, you gotta do your best to stay on the path. Super hard. It's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard, but stay on the path unless you're gonna play this game. If you're gonna play this game, then you gotta play it to the fullest. There's options. You can't play with it. You're either gonna play this game or you're not. It can't go both ways though. You gonna play the game or not?
You said it can't go both ways.
Nah, you either gonna play the game, you either gonna be involved or you're not.
I mean, there's games and then there's the game after the game.
Like what? Give me an
Point.
example. Give me an example.
Dame Dash was playing the game at one point.
Was he?
A aspect of it. There was a semblance of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This nigga was in. He was in videos spraying champagne on bros. You know what I'm saying? Doing the Dame dance. I mean, he was quarterbacking the culture to a degree at some point. These were the purveyors of all things cool, right? He had the keys for a period in time. Now, he wasn't in the way that he explains it, he didn't get in bed under the sheets per se. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
But he might have been in the bed over, above the covers. You know, now the niggas on YouTube talking about the Anunnaki.
Uh-huh. I don't know, boo. Yeah, I think, when those Mount Shasta trips that you take, you know, them is damn near like every 90-day trips, bro. I mean, when I think about it, like, to refuel the tool and you have to do that because that's the only thing that's going to keep you balanced out for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but I don't know, bro. It's so many levels, bro. It's too many levels. Too many levels.
Amen.
The talk is tough. I mean, it's too many levels. You know what I mean? It's too many levels. But you know what I mean? I wanted to, quick plug, find your boy at www.kenbillions.com. Excuse me. That's where all my content is. I don't have no content on social media for real. So if you're looking for the kid, www.kenbillions.com.
The way that it sounds, there's no ebonic inflections on that.
What'd you say?
I said that's spelled the way that it sounds. There's no ebonic.
Yeah, Ken Billions. Yeah. www.kenbillions.com. And
So that's
it's
with an
dope.
S and not a Z, right?
With S, yeah, S, you know what I mean? And it's dope because everything you get on there, it's not nowhere on social media. So I'm giving the user equity.
Right. So this is exclusive content we talking.
Yeah, exclusive content. Like I give you guys an example like how this work. I got a few Jay-Z albums and I spent money on Jay. So some like in my lifetime, you know what I mean, the blueprint, all that. The sad thing is when Jay-Z dies, those albums ain't gonna be worth nothing because Jay sold a lot of them and a lot of people got a copy of them. And plus, the stuff is on title, everything. But where mine's, like say some of my videos, you're gonna be the only ones with that. You and those that are members. So that gives you that gives you, it's like a Michael Jordan rookie card, because as I scale, that video and that content has more value because it's only for you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that part, www.kenbillions.com, and cop the ebooks and all that,
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
It's the exclusivity factor. I can dig it.
totally. You know what I'm saying? Just for those that's in the game on social media, it's a bad business model trying to build up YouTube, IG, Facebook. That's a bad business model. You know what I'm saying? That's not a smart business model, but that's what we were taught to do.
Yeah, we're gonna tough talk about that one day.
Yeah. hmm
Yes, family. So hit him with that cash app too.
Kenny Briz. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Briz had Cash Apper. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Briz and all that good stuff.
Sure. Mine's is $Blue Pillar 44 family. And you can definitely find your way over to www.goldwater.com, GOLDEWATER, goldwater.com family. All right, check us out. Goldwater on IG. We have a lot of information on that particular page. You can read all the testimonials, all of the research, you know, thorough. So check us out.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, this has been another episode of Tough Talk Tuesday, episode 15. It's been a while. We've been gone for a minute. We are going to work to keep, this consistent and regular or what have you. But sometimes life happens. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Life happens. We got to get out there and live a little so we can come back and have them Chappelle monologues. That shit don't happen overnight. So, yeah, thank you. Appreciate you, family, for showing up, showing out. Take this information, download it, but, tomorrow, make a serious consideration about deleting that black app. You know what I'm saying? Not only uninstalling it, but delete it from your hard drive. Get that shit up out of here. Live life on your own terms. You
Totally.
group think is headed. You know what I'm saying? You do not want to go there in the breadbasket. Trust me.
Totally. Get free. Excuse me, get free of everybody. And yeah, man, life, yeah, man, not even to beat a dead horse, man. Those, it's niggas gonna nig, man. So
Niggas gonna nig. Feel me?
nigga gonna nig.
All right. Peace, love, and light to the chat. As always, Empress
I
reading.
get what you pimp.
All right. We love you. Thank you for holding us down. All right, y'all. To the next time.
Peace.
Hey.